Welcome again. And it's good because we have new people here, right? Some
Yes.
people that just joined. So again, I'm Monica Hetty from Vancouver, Canada. My accent is from Brazil. I speak English and Portuguese. I'm a mom of three boys, cooking delicious food every day. I'm not actually vegan. I don't follow any specific diet, but we eat lots of vegetable at home. And I find that um, vegan and vegetarian food, they are so rich in flavor and spices and herbs that sometimes I go for it because I like the flavor. And today is a very special recipe that we're making. We're making the vegan mushroom and spinach lasagna from Cookidoo. The link for the recipe is in the chat. So if you want to take a look and save it. So the recipe starts by making the pesto. So I'll just place a jug or a little jar. So 100 grams of olive oil.
I've also used cashews as well.
Cashews,
It's
yeah.
a very creamy pesto, I find.
You have it. 100 grams. I'll set this aside. And I will add 40 grams of nutritional yeast to the bowl. So nutritional yeast is a good thing when you're cooking vegan. It has a nice cheesy flavor. So you can add to your vegan bechamel, or if you're cooking dairy free, it's a really good thing in flavor and it's good for your health as well. So I all for that. If it tastes good, if it makes me feel good, I like it. So 30 grams of flaked almonds. So this is the step that you could use some seeds, sunflower seeds, or any nut that you like. I found that walnuts give my pesto a nice flavor. I like the walnuts in my pesto. So 20 grams of fresh basil. When I'm using the basil in my pesto, I take only the leaves and the part here that is not woody. So you have the end that is quite hard, but this part here is still, when you can still break with your hands, it has lots of flavor in it. So I use it and I save the woody part when for me to make my pizza sauce. I like it. So you can freeze it, put in a little bag and freeze it. It will become brown, but it will still keep the flavor. And also I'll add some little leaves of arugula. I like the spicy hint that it gives to my pesto. It's not in the recipe though, but you can add any green that you like.
That's the
Some
beauty
salad.
really about these recipes.
Yeah.
You can find ways to customize them for yourself.
So I put 10 grams of my olive oil here, back in there, and I'll squeeze half of my lemon. So you can put the little measuring cup in and squeeze your lemon on the side so it will keep the seeds, but let the juice go in. So this is a nice tip. The measuring cup is so well designed that you can drizzle oil or you can separate the egg yolks from the egg whites by just popping in here. It will keep the seeds and the egg yolk and the egg white will go in and it will drizzle your oil and olive oil beautifully to your sauce. 2 garlic cloves. When I'm using garlic cloves, I like to take the middle part of it so it's mild in flavor. Put in there. And sea salt. Half teaspoon. Now insert the measuring cup and I'll process for 10 seconds. Speed 7. So I can hear the noise that the pesto is all on the sides already. I'll just stop, and this is a good thing. You can press this button and stop at any time. Can you see
Mm-hmm.
what I have? It is all blended already. So for
Beautiful.
me, it did it didn't take the whole time. So just scrape down my sides here.
I can smell it over here, Monica.
Yeah, especially the nutritional yeast.
Yeah.
It's taking the place of the parmesan in the recipe.
Yeah.
So now I'll turn to speed 3, and I will drizzle my oil here. So the recipe says that you might not need everything, so just keep an eye to see how the texture looks. You cannot actually see inside, but I can from here.
Maybe one day they'll have a
Looking good.
see-through lid.
That would be good, isn't it?
Wouldn't it?
Oh, I love it. So look at this.
There you go. I just invented something.
It's the beautiful pesto. I think
Oh,
I'll add
wow.
a little bit more. So if your pesto is creamier, it will be easier for you to spoon it in the lasagna when you are assembling. So
Mm.
just add a little bit more. Okay, so I'll just move this aside.
That was quick, Monica.
It's super fast. I make pesto so many times, so many times. I just love it, and it's a good snack.
Have you ever, here's a question. Have you ever used roasted nuts for pesto?
Yes, I have. You can use any nuts. Actually, the roasted nuts they give you even more like a nutty flavor to
Mm-hmm.
your pasta, but they also give you more texture. So
Right.
you won't achieve like a creamy texture in your pesto.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's up to you. But I like the crunchiness of it. I kind
Yeah.
of even prefer if I can bite some pieces of
Yes. That's how I like
ingredients in my food. Yeah, so it's up to you.
mine. There's a question from Sarah. How many nuts did you add?
I add 30 grams, 40 grams is in the recipe. I was not adding the whole almonds, just
Mm.
the sliced one. So I cannot tell you how many, just the grams because I was following. So it asks me to clean the mixing bowl, but I have all the flavor here. I won't do this. I'll just add the 2 garlic cloves here and get use of my flavors and just
Anytime we
keep
can add more
cooking.
flavor is a good thing.
What did you say?
I said no waste.
No waste. Yeah. So just scrape down the sides. The difference if the bowl is not clean and dry is that the garlic will be chopped in bigger pieces. So every time you want to chop something really in tiny pieces, if you have dry all walls in your bowl, it would be easier. But I'll just scrape down the sides and repeat. Okay, next. So now I'll use the firm tofu. The recipe asks for me to use a firm tofu, drained and broken. So I bought a tofu that is already pressed. So you can find this in the supermarket. The pressed ones are even more firm than the ones that are just firm.
Yeah.
So just start the water. I'll tear my scale. Anytime you're cooking, you can just press tear here. So sometimes I forgot to take the lid before, so you can just tear the scale. Tear means that you're bringing your scale to 0 again. I'm just breaking the tofu with my hands. So it's almost 400 grams of tofu here. This will be our ricotta. You can actually make your own non-vegan, your dairy ricotta in the Thermomix by adding some vinegar and milk. There's a recipe in the Cookidoo. I make it all the time. So it's up to you. You can make the vegan one, the dairy one. So 20 grams of olive oil.
I love how the scale is so precise.
It is. And 20 grams of water. Every time I need to add a little bit of water, like 20 grams, 50 grams, I like to use the measuring cup instead of just bringing a jug of water in here, because you can be more precise, because 20 grams of water will be about 2 tablespoons.
Yeah, it's very
So I
little.
like to just use my measuring cup. It has a nice so the other half of the lemon I'm using here. This is another way for you to catch your seeds. Just squeeze in your hands, keep the seeds, and let the juice drizzle inside. And now another 2 tablespoons of my nutritional yeast. So this will give my recipe a really cheesy flavor. You won't be able to notice that there's no cheese involved.
Years ago, my sister-in-law, she couldn't eat dairy for the longest time when she was pregnant. It was a side effect of her pregnancy. And so I made a lasagna with, this was before Thermomix. I made a lasagna with a faux bechamel sauce, and she couldn't even tell.
Yeah.
Using nutritional yeast. It was amazing.
You know, before I had Thermomix, I had to avoid dairy for, so I'm just chopping for 10 seconds before. So I had to avoid dairy for 3 months, 4 months. And I developed some allergies that it was not dairy allergy, but we couldn't find the reason. And one of my doctors said that it could be caused by, not caused by milk, but worsened by milk. So
Oh
I
yeah,
should avoid it. It was so hard to put down milk to my life,
I know.
especially cheese. I just love cheese. It was so hard. I lost 5 kilos in these three
Wow.
months. And, you know, I don't have 5 kilos to lose. I just don't.
No, you won't.
So I'm not sure I lost my kilos because I was hungry, because I was depressed, because it was just so hard to eat without cheese.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a Thermomix at that time. So that's why. So now we have here our vegan kind of ricotta. You can chop it in smaller pieces if you want. For me, it looks good enough. So just move it aside. It smells delicious. It actually smells better than my real ricotta.
Oh.
It has a lemony, uh, cheesy smell to it. Let me taste the salt. Mm, very good. So, oh, this is good. You should try. Oh, delicious.
Pass it through the screen, Monica.
It's good. So now we have our 2 elements. The recipe asked me again to wash my bowl. I'm not doing it. I'm a rebel.
Monica doesn't like to wash.
Why? I feel bad of losing all this flavor. I'm not washing
Exactly.
it. So 10 grams of olive oil. Insert the measuring cup and the lid. Is this just olive oil? Yeah, just olive oil. And if you heat my olive oil, So really hot olive oil. After this, we're making the mushroom sauce, kind of sauce. And the recipe asks us to use the chestnut mushrooms, which was sometimes it can be hard to find. They're quite similar to the cremini.
Okay.
And so I bought cremini instead. And the recipe asks you to have it sliced in small pieces. I won't slice mine, and I'll show you how I do my kind of vegan meat. So I have this vegan bolognese recipe. It's on my Instagram. It's called bolognese, false bolognese. And I use less than this amount. I usually put 250 or 300 grams of mushrooms, and I chop it for 4 seconds before in the Thermomix. It produces such a nice texture of mushrooms that when you mix it together with your tomato sauce, no one can tell there's no meat in there. I have one particular boy, I have 3 boys, but one particular boy doesn't eat mushroom. Or like, no, he cannot have mushroom. And he eats my false bolognese. So happy. He actually prefers the false bolognese than the real one. Because the mushrooms is soft and he has lots of flavor in it. And it's chopped nicely. So take a note. 4 seconds is speed 4. If you look and you still see some pieces of mushroom, you can blend it again for another 2 seconds, speed 4, with the cutting blades. So this is a good one.
I hope he doesn't watch your video.
I hope
he'll know your secret.
He's at school. Now I'm afraid. No, but he's at school. He won't be watching. And I'm so happy to be able to teach my boys to learn how to cook since young age, and they are liking it. I can't wait for them to start cooking for me.
They're gonna make some lady friend very happy one day.
Yes, I hope so. So here asked me to add 450 grams of the mushrooms, and the recipe asked me to add it thinly sliced. So I'll just add half of it. That much. And I'll chop, remove, and add the other part. So anytime you're cooking on Cookidoo, you can go back to the main screen by touching the little house. There's a house draw here. So you're back to the control. So this is not automatic control. This is you're the boss here. So I'll be the boss, and I'll put 4 seconds, speed 4. Who wants to see it? Surprise! Look at this.
Wonderful. Wow.
I love this. So just move it aside. Make sure you don't add much more than 250 grams, and 300 grams is okay. Just add the rest. Close. And 4 seconds, speed 4.
But no olive oil this time.
Yes, I was thinking about it now, and I'll add the olive oil again because I got the olive oil all together with my mushrooms. It's okay. See?
It's magic.
Really nice. It's really nice. This is sometimes when I'm making even mushroom risotto, instead of slicing it, I just chop like this, and it adds so much flavor to the recipe. I didn't even cut in half my mushrooms, just the whole thing. So I'll bring it back. And when you're cooking, you can move forward, and you can also walk back here a few steps. So I'll go back to the olive oil, and I'll heat it again. What the recipe wants is for you to have a nice warm base of olive oil in the bottom before you add the mushrooms.
Yes.
So do we have any questions?
No, the chat so far is We
So
answered
far, so
all
good.
the questions. It was how many nuts and what was the yeast that you added was the question. So that was
The
nutritional
yeast, I
yeast.
added this one, the nutritional yeast. It's red milk brand.
Not to be confused with brewer's yeast or
Yes.
baker's yeast.
It's not bread yeast. It's the nutritional yeast. And let me show you here. This camera is better for you to see this. For you to see the texture. So it's like little flakes. Really cheesy smell. Nice cheesy smell. And you can add it to your salads, and you can eat it raw. It adds a nice savory flavor. Also, I want to show you the lasagna sheets that I'm using. I'm using this one I brought from Costco, but this is not vegan though. So if you want vegan, make sure there's no eggs in the lasagna sheet. Most of them doesn't have eggs, but I kind of like this one. It's super thin. I'll show you here. Super thin and delicious. I like this one. You can also make it gluten-free. There are lasagna sheets available in the market, gluten-free ones. Or you can use my old friend here, zucchini. I just love zucchini lasagna. You won't miss the pasta at all. You can slice like this using a peeler, or I actually prefer to do like this. Can you see? Yeah, I actually prefer to just slice like this in thin. So I find that when you do like this, it's easier for you to cut and serve your lasagna.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to just use the little coins. And this is so delicious also to eat with a pesto. So
Oh, yes.
I'll be happy just with pesto and zucchini crackers. It's my favorite cracker of all. This will be my lunch. I don't even need the lasagna. So delicious and flavorful. So the recipe doesn't, this recipe that I'm making doesn't ask for zucchini, but I'll add it anyway because I just love zucchini.
Extra veggies.
Yeah. And I think the zucchini, since it released some water while baking, I like it. I think my pasta is more soft, and I just love it. And since the kids won't complain.
I've also used butternut squash as zucchini or as sheets, right? That's also a really good one.
Okay, so I'll add all the mushrooms. Let's see if I can put everything in. There is a nice paleo lasagna in the Cookidoo, which asks for sweet potato. I saw this recipe once. Yeah, I haven't tried it yet, but I saw it. I read the ingredients and the preparation, and it sounded quite nice to me. So it saved, waiting for an opportunity to be cooked. So I'll just add here and cook these mushrooms on reverse for 3 minutes while I'm still chopping my zucchini here. So what are the recipes that are waiting to be cooked in your Cookidoo, Beatrix?
I am making a salmon and spinach orzo pasta. It is amazing. I have made it before. It is delicious.
Is that the one that is sent the link the other day?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's great to show multi-level cooking with that one.
Yeah.
What else am I making? I am making juice as well because the juice collection is amazing.
I make lots of juice here.
Yeah. I really like the digestive juice that they have in there with the papaya, pineapple, and apple. It makes me think I'm back in the Dominican.
Do you use fresh pineapple or frozen one?
No, I use the fresh pineapple.
I'm not keen on fresh pineapples here. They don't smell the same.
No, I believe it. Although I have to say the ones at Costco are pretty good.
Oh, really? I'll give it a go.
Buy the ones that are already pre-sliced, but they're fresh
Oh,
that's
the pre-sliced.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
that's a good
they're
idea.
extremely sweet. The ones right now, at least.
You know, in Brazil, they sell pineapples around like the highways. So sometimes you're driving with it's hot, so many times you have open windows, and when you pass by, you can smell the pineapple from your car. Like, oh, the pineapple.
Yes.
So delicious.
I noticed they did that with bananas everywhere in the Dominican. And the bananas there are tiny.
We have so many kinds of bananas.
Yeah.
It's nice.
That's good. What else am I cooking? I don't know yet. We'll see. That's the plan so far. It's only the beginning of the weekend.
Yes.
I haven't quite decided yet.
So for you that is watching, if you have a favorite Cookidoo recipe, something that you made this week, or something that is your go for dinner, please send us your favorites in the chat. It's always good to have other people impressions and input. And there's my recipe list, my waiting list here. It's like the heart of a mom, always feeds one more.
Exactly.
So I'm always adding new recipes and
making new collections.
New collections, and I keep dividing my collections because sometimes they become too big. I'll divide this vegetarian into vegan and vegetarian.
I created a collection a while back on must make again.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. So recipes I've made where I said, yes, I'm going to make it again. It goes into my must make again collection. So then those are like the tried and true recipes that.
Oh, nice. So now my mushroom. Sorry?
There are so many recipes. Sometimes you have a hard time choosing what you want to make.
Yeah, that's why I like to ask people. Why have you been cooking? Because I actually want ideas. I want ideas.
Exactly.
So my mushrooms are cooked. I'll just add 250 grams of fresh baby spinach.
And Naki suggested adding basil. Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can add basil here for sure.
Oh, that would add an amazing flavor, Naki. Very good. Good idea.
So a pinch of salt. See how full my bowl is? I have spinach all around here. So, and now we're doing the magic. Put the lid on. And you can use the Thermomix spatula inside the bowl safely because it has this ring here that keeps it from touching the blade. So when you're cooking something like this that you want to help with the spatula, sometimes when you're making cheesy puffs or pão de queijo, Brazilian recipe, I like to use the spatula here. Or blending some sorbet, you can use the spatula here. So I will insert the spatula. It will cook for 3 minutes, and I'll just help around to bring all the spinach down to the blade. So it is cooking at 98 degrees for 3 minutes, and I'll just help it out here. So the spinach really is cooking and it's going down to the blades because we have lots of spinach here. And this spinach will become like nothing because we want it to drain all the water. And actually, after it finished cooking, the recipe will ask me to drain it. And for draining, you can use the simmering basket. This is very useful. It comes with a Thermomix, of course, and you can use it to steam vegetables, potatoes. You can use it for draining your lemonade, of course. What did you say?
Eggs. If you want to cook your eggs.
Eggs. You can cook your eggs here, or you can use the egg boiler. But it's nice sometimes you're actually cooking something inside, and then you can cook your eggs inside at the same time without breaking the eggs. When you're making your soups, so many ways to use it.
Potatoes.
You can put on top potatoes. You can put on top. So this recipe using this twice. I'll use it now to drain the juices from my spinach, and I'll use later popping it on top while I cook the tomato sauce, the marinara sauce, so it will release some steam without splashing all over my kitchen, which I'm happy about. So 1 more minute to go here. Do you have any questions?
Rice. Yeah, Naki mentioned you can cook rice in the basket too.
Rice, yeah. So what I do, you know, in Brazil, we don't eat plain rice, like just rice cooked in water. We make garlic rice. That's our just everyday rice. We saute the garlic with olive oil in the bottom, and then I put the garlic inside the basket with the rice and place the basket inside, add water, salt, and cook. You will have your best rice ever. Like you can eat just rice for dinner if you make it garlic rice.
That sounds really good.
So delicious. Hi, Jasper.
There's a comment from Jasper.
That's so good. Good to have you here. We cannot hear you, unfortunately. You have to unmute.
Where is
okay, so now I can feel with my my spatula here that my spinach is down there, but I think the spinach that is in the top still needs some cooking. So I'll just open and take a look. So you can see the one that in the bottom together with the mushroom is well cooked. I'll just stir it a little bit here.
It's almost half the size it was.
Yes, but it's still, we need more cooking here. Otherwise, we'll have a hard time assembling the lasagna. So anytime that this happens, you can just walk back because it really depends on the temperature of your ingredients as well. So see, just by mixing the spinach melt down a little bit more. So I won't repeat the whole time, just maybe 1 minute. The same temperature, the same speed. Now I don't have anything else to stir here. I really do. So it's heavy. Oh, and I'll show you also the carrots. When I'm using this kind of dish that I would grate the carrots in small pieces, I would not bother peeling it. I have organic carrots here. I just give it a nice scrub, and you can slice or chop in rough pieces and use it. When you're cutting your vegetables, make sure you cut them in kind of similar shapes because we are chopping in the Thermomix and we want them to be chopped nicely and in similar sizes. This recipe actually chops the carrot really in tiny little pieces. It's almost like grated carrot. So you won't have pieces of carrot, just the flavor of it. Look at this. Okay, so now we have it. And the recipe asked me to add 2 tablespoons of my reserved pesto. Remember, we made the pesto in the beginning of the recipe.
Yes.
So just add 2 tablespoons of my pesto. Oh goodness, this smells so good.
I can smell it already.
Oh yeah. It's just so delicious. Really. I want to eat a spoonful of this. So we're learning today so many ingredients, and I'm just mixing for 10 seconds, P2, of this lasagna. But actually, you can eat the separate elements of this lasagna by itself. So you can save this recipe, and someday you just come here and make just the pesto, just the ricotta, just the mushroom spinach sauce. It is just something. I'll give it a try. Oh, this is serious food. So now it's saying here to drain in simmering basket, then set aside. So what I'll do, I'll put my simmering basket here so you can watch from above. You see,
smart.
I'll just drain it here. So I have a bowl below. This is something that you make also when you're making tzatziki. Have you, any of you made tzatziki before? So to make tzatziki in the Thermomix, I make it this week. I love tzatziki. You will grate the cucumber with salt in the bowl, and then you move it to the simmering basket, just like this, just like I'm doing now, and let it drain for 10-15 minutes, and the cucumber will release all the water. And tzatziki usually asks for yogurt, and this week I made with sour cream, cashew sour cream, so it's also vegan. Please give it a go. It's just like tzatziki with the cashew sour cream. You cannot tell. It's the tzatziki. Delicious. So let it here. Of course, I'm not throwing this juice away. Look at this.
No.
Of course not. This will make a delicious soup. So this recipe doesn't ask you to use that, but I will. So let's move. Guess what? Cleaning the bowl. Am I cleaning the bowl? No, I'm not.
Never.
So 2 garlic cloves and 100 grams of onions. When I'm making tomato sauce, I like to use brown onions because it also helps with the color and the sweetness. And 100 grams of carrots. Let's see how much I have here. Okay, just add everything. A little bit more than 100. And 10 grams of olive oil. Set the lid. And it will chop for 4 seconds, speed 7. Really well chopped, so you won't see any carrot here anymore. Look at this.
That's
But
insane.
all the flavors are here. So just scrape down here. In my opinion, I like to just saute this for a few minutes. Let's see if the recipe will ask me to do so. Oh yes, 5 minutes. That's perfect. So you have all the flavors from the carrot and the onions, garlic.
Wonderful.
Here. So would you like to make your bechamel in these 5 minutes?
Yeah, I was just going to suggest that.
So
It takes
just do
about
a
7.
clean up here. Okay.
Now
There
I see.
you are.
Hi, everybody. So my name is Beatrix. I'm helping out Monica today. I have the pleasure of joining a Friday class, which I never do. So pretty happy about that. So I'm going to be showing you how to make the white sauce that goes into every lasagna, in my opinion. And I've got an allergen-free white sauce. So this morning I made some oat milk that I'm using for the bechamel sauce for the white sauce. And let's begin. So it's a bechamel sauce is one of the easiest sauces you could possibly make. So it's going to ask for 500 grams of oat milk. Now you can also use different kinds of milks. You can use cashew milk, you can use almond milk. There are quite a few recipes in Cookidoo for different kinds of nut milks if you want to experiment. So we've got 500 grams of oat milk. What I really like about oat milk actually is it's very similar in consistency to whole milk. It's very, it's richer and thicker, I find, compared to like almond milk or cashew milk. Sometimes I'll do a combination of oat milk, coconut milk, and cashew milk together, which is really good too. All right, it's gonna ask for 50 grams of corn flour. I did not have time to go out to buy corn flour, so I'm just gonna use a regular all-purpose flour. I'm gonna put that in. And then we're gonna ask for avocado or olive oil. I don't know if I have enough olive oil in my jar here. Let's see what happens. Again, you can use, oh, there we go. I do have enough. But you can use avocado oil as well. We are going to put in some sea salt. I really like using Himalayan pink sea salt. I find it has more health properties to it. And we got a pinch of ground nutmeg. Ooh, that might have been too much. Oopsie. Came out a little fast. And then we're just going to insert the measuring cup into the lid. And it's going to cook for 7 minutes. It's going to thicken, and we're going to have a most amazing bechamel sauce. Now, since I'm not making lasagna, let me just get this going here. Since I'm not making lasagna, I would be using this, because I'm not going to waste my bechamel sauce. So I would make this with some pasta. I'll cook up some macaroni pasta perhaps, or some other kinds of pasta that I have in the house. And then steam some chicken and veggies, and then mix the sauce with the pasta and the veggies and the chicken to make a really good kind of a one pot type meal. Really quick weeknight. Really quick weeknight meal as well to make. Sarah, I am cooking it at 90 degrees Celsius. It's already predetermined in the Cookidoo recipe at 90 degrees Celsius. You can, however, if you're making, if you're not following a recipe in Cookidoo, there's the thickening option, which is one of the pre-modes. And that makes really good custards and sauces as well. You're welcome, Sarah. Is there any other questions?
Yes, Barb is asking about the corn flour and cornstarch. So they are not the same thing. Cornstarch is a starch, and corn flour is actually the corn, the milled corn. So you can make your own corn flour by grinding, guess what? Popcorn kernels in your Thermomix. So use 250 grams of corn, like popcorn, unpopped popcorn, and blend it for 1 minute, speed 9. Check the consistency. If you want really thin, you can just scrape down the sides and blend it again. In Brazil, we use corn flour a lot, and we also make fresh polenta with this corn flour. It has recipes on Cookidoo for polenta, and you can mill your own corns and make your corn flour. So I'm done here.
Really can do everything.
That's it. So I'm done here. Let me put my camera back.
Yeah, mine is cooking for 4.5 minutes still.
Oh, look at this. Yum, 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 yum. So I have my carrots and garlic and onions all cooked. My house smells like a paradise. And I'll follow the recipe. The recipe asks me to add 1.5 teaspoons of dry thyme, which I have fresh, so I'll just add the fresh. Pinch of chili flakes. I'm using cayenne pepper flakes instead.
Monica,
so about finding and using what you have at hand. What?
There was a question from Monique as far as the ricotta cheese. Did you have a recipe for the ricotta cheese that you followed, or did you just do that?
Yeah, no, this ricotta cheese that I made, I was following the same lasagna recipe that we made.
Oh, it's in the, okay.
In the recipe, you make all the steps, all the ingredients. The recipe has a pinch of caster sugar. So the sugar will break down the sourness of the tomatoes. I like to use brown sugar instead because it also helps with the color of my sauce. So it does the same work as the brown onion that we used. And sea salt. So half teaspoon of sea salt. Pepper. Insert the measuring cup. And you should just blend it together for 10 seconds. For this, we have 10 seconds to open a can of chopped tomatoes. Okay. Oh, it smells so good. So good. So 800 grams is a big can. tomatoes here. And that's it. So now we're using the simmering basket. Again, since my simmering basket is busy, if you can just, let's see, I'll just move it aside. Look the amount of juice that my mushrooms release. So I'll just empty it in another bowl and I'll place it on top. So it will cook without splashing and it will cook for 20 minutes. But to value your time, I made a marinara sauce this morning. It's never too much to have ready marinara sauce at home, right? So I'll just move my Thermomix to the side here while it's cooking. And I'll get the sauce that I have ready. And we will assemble our lasagna. This is the ready marinara.
Oh, that's good.
It's good. So we cooked for 20 minutes. And while you're cooking, even if you are in the middle of a recipe, if you press the 3 little dots here, you can assess the scale, you can cancel the recipe, and you can see the recipe details. So my Thermomix is too busy cooking, but I'm starting to assemble my lasagna. I'll just scroll down to the assembly. So I'll preheat my oven to 190 degrees Celsius, and I'll go for it. So I'll get my spatula here and pour enough marinara sauce into a baking dish. So just enough to cover from here.
Sorry, my dog is barking.
Don't worry. It's a good sign. He's alive.
Yeah, exactly. It's recycling day today, so the trucks are out.
So I will get my lasagna sheets here, and I'll cover the base. I have another trick. I make lasagna quite often, and I don't like when I cook it and it's all curly on top. So I'll get a pointy knife and just pop it like this. So when you cook it, they will grow a little bit. So they will just go on top of each other instead of you getting your whole lasagna curd, like curd lasagna. So I will cover these sheets with the tofu ricotta. So 1/3. Let's imagine here.
My bechamel is done as well.
Oh, do you want to show? Show us.
Sure.
Yay!
So there you go. So nice thick sauce. And if I take a spoon and I go into it, you can see just how thick and creamy this became. And I used oat milk versus regular milk, but you can definitely use regular milk as well to make it. And as it gets cooler, I find it gets even thicker. So beautiful. It'll be awesome with some veggies. Cannot wait.
Nice. Nice. I love bechamel. I make it all the time. So I just added the tofu ricotta, and now also 1/3 of my mushroom here. Mushroom spinach sauce. So just put spoonfuls of this on top. I like to use my imagination here and just divide it mentally into 3 portions. So I don't end up with no filling for the last layer of my lasagna. And now dots of my pesto. Okay, now, this might be probably the best lasagna I have ever made.
At what point would you put the bechamel in? Which layers in between?
So the bechamel, when I make with bechamel, I'll just put the bechamel on top. So I make the bechamel recipes that add for 500 grams of milk. That's enough to just cover my lasagna. I don't put bechamel in between, just the
Okay.
ricotta. And then when I finish, I put a layer of pasta sheet covered with bechamel and put some crumble on top. This
Yes.
crumble can be our vegan parmesan we have on Cookidoo, a vegan parmesan recipe that is delicious, or just parmesan chopped with some almonds and linseed and uh, sunflower seeds. I like to add seeds to everything I do. I'm planting happiness and love. So I go cooking and throwing the seeds.
I like that. Planting happiness and love with seeds.
So now I'm being myself here, and this is not in the recipe. I'll just add my slices of zucchini. So then repeat. Actually, I think I'll put some more marinara here on top, just to wet my zucchini. Not too much though.
Adding more flavor. Hello.
Adding more flavor, and also if I put the pasta straight into the zucchini will kind of glue in the pasta. If you want to hide the zucchini, you should go for that, but I don't want to hide it.
Barb is asking if those are oven-ready lasagna sheets.
Yes, so that's my goal for. I don't like cooking it and then assembling it. It is just too complicated for me. This is easier. So I cover with the foil and bake it for 30 minutes covered. And then only after these 30 minutes, I will put the parmesan or any crumble that you're using on top and bring it back to the oven to get some brown, nice color. So I'm obviously not having this lasagna by myself for lunch, even though I feel like it, but I won't because I love my family. So I'll just bake it now, but I won't. I'll just bake for the first 30 minutes and remove from the oven, and then at night I will just put the crumble on top. I might put some bechamel on top at night too, and the cheese, and put to heat in the oven without covering, so we'll get the nice brown color on top, and a happy family. So for the recipe, I should just stop here. And for the recipe, I'll not be using the marinara sauce twice every layer because I won't be using the zucchini. But since I'm using the zucchini, I put in the marinara sauce twice. So I don't have more marinara sauce to cover my last layer, which will force me to make bechamel. So that's what I'm going to make. And then you just pour it over and cover with some foil, bake it for 30 minutes. Always watch the label here saying how much time your pasta needs to be cooked. This one is only 30 minutes in the oven. and then another 20 minutes to brown, and you're good to go. Make sure you let your lasagna cool down for at least like 5 minutes if you can. You can hold your little hands like this, like I teach my boys. You have to hold and wait for 5 minutes before you cut it and serve it. Otherwise, it, it, it you cannot serve a whole piece. So you hold your little hands together and wait for 5 minutes. And you have. So my other sauce is ready, the one that we made. I'll move it here to show you. Yum, yum, yum. So that's our sauce.
Nice.
Isn't it
Nice.
good?
Mm-hmm.
So that's it.
Delish. Great.
It's good.
Thank you very much. And we're looking forward to all the pictures before your boys get to it.
I'll try hard. I'll try hard.
I have seen you post pictures of what was the lasagna.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, when I first started my Instagram account, my profile picture was an empty plate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bye, Sarah.
Bye, Sarah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Okay.
Thank you,
bye.
everyone, for attending. Please share your
share
productions with us.
Great. All right, great. Thank you again, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
We'll see you.
Bye, Barb.
Thank
Good
you
to have
very
you
much,
with us.
Beatrix, for jumping in
No problem.
and co-hosting for us.
Thank you, Monique.
No problem. I'm glad I was able to help.
Thank you, Beatrix.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you very much.